Brunswick, Eden Prairie Lanes, just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota in Eden Prairie. It's the final round of the men's United States National Amateur Bowling Championships. Let's meet our finalists. Our number 3 qualifier is a 4-time ABC tournament titleist, 3-time Buffalo Bowler of the Year, Michael Neumann. In the number 2 position, 1997 Maryland Amateur Champion and ABC Team All-Event titleist from Davidsonville, Maryland, John Gaines. Our tournament leader in 1996, he finished 7th in this United States National Amateur Championship. Most valuable player for Saginaw Valley State in the Intercollegiate Bowling Championship from Saginaw, Michigan, Kurt Pilon.
And hello again, everybody. I am Mike Jakubowski, and joining me is Women's International Bowling Congress Hall of Famer and current 1997 Team USA coach, Pat Costello. And Pat, what is the qualifying here at the United States National Amateur Championships?
Well, it's a really grueling event. They have 24 games of qualifying, and then they go into 24 more games of match play, and then it comes to the top 3 that are here today.
And we have the top 3, and sitting on the top of that heap is Kurt Pilon.
Now, Kurt, he led this from wire to wire, setting an overall new qualifying average. And I see Kurt to be a tough one to beat tonight in that final match.
Qualifying in the number 2 position is John Gaines.
John Gaines, he's from the East Coast. He's got a lot of experience. He's kind of a bowler that keeps within himself, and he has that driving force that gets him into all his matches.
And meeting him in our semifinal match, the number 3 qualifier, that would be Mike Neumann.
Mike likes to be called Michael, and he is going to be your entertainer of the evening. He's also from the East Coast, and we are going to have a great match here coming up soon.
And don't go away, because that semifinal match is coming up next.
The United States National Amateur Bowling Championship is brought to you by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. And welcome back to Brunswick, Eden Prairie Lanes, just outside of Minneapolis. Michael Neumann against John Gaines. Bowling on lanes 23 and 24 here at Brunswick, Eden Prairie. And our first look at Michael Neumann.
Well, Mike, I noticed in practice he didn't like lane 23, and he really was bearing down on that. And I think he's changed balls. Let's see what he does here. Very deliberate player. Looks real good. Ooh.
Trouble early for Neumann.
Yeah, he seemed to rear right out of that shot real quickly. Yeah, you can see right here, see how he really stands up on his toe there? Got that ball to jump real high there on the head pin. He's left a very makeable split for him. He's changing his bowling balls, if you notice, to a harder surface ball.
It's a little bit easier for a right-hander?
Very much so. He's going to send it right to the right of the 310 and make it. How's that for a lucky shot for us on that one? Beautiful. You watch how he sends this ball to the right of that 3-pin directly into that 7. It was awesome.
And we're off and running at the National Bowling Amateur Championships. Here's John Gaines.
John, he's real smooth. See how he executes his first shot here. Oh man, I thought he was going to leave the 210. He came out of that really nice. He's got the 2-pin there. Nice spare, changes balls. Harder surface ball, go straight at the spare.
And a spare piece.
Yeah, he made that nice spare. Now he's coming up here, and he wants to get started here. The gentleman that gets started sooner in this match is going to be the one to get things rolling here and put some pressure on the other guy. Sooner the better here. John has you notice he has a little dip in the shoulder there, and he's so smooth with that line. He's a big man. There you go.
Solid in the pocket for Gaines. Gaines going at 6'5".
6'5", and he stands so close to the approach. He takes small steps, and he really executes the ball down the lane well, putting some pressure here on Mike now. Let's see what Mike can do here. This is the lane I felt that he liked the most.
Pressure isn't going to phase this guy. He likes it.
Here he goes. He didn't like it.
Looked away.
Yeah, he's not real comfortable. He's going to change balls for this spare, the 3-6. Should cover this with ease. Doesn't look like he has the rhythm he had here sooner in his warm-ups. A little out of rhythm right now. Good spare there. Okay, you see his style, how he's all closed up in the stance. When he moves this ball down, that elbow never gets straight. He's bringing it up here. And you can see how that elbow's all crooked up and the ball's up under. That's power if he can get it down in time, and he's real late there, the ball coming through. And he's not down on that shot. So let's see how he can do here.
Neumann is 30. Bowls out of Buffalo, New York. Third frame, our semifinal match. Winner goes on to face Kurt Pilon for the National Amateur Championship.
See, does he like it? No. Yeah, he's really out of time. And that type of swing that he has to be dead in rhythm. He's got to start singing a song here, something to get him. See him really popping out. He's trying to maybe overthrow the shot. And that he's just catching it a little bit on the upswing and making that ball really take off in the back end. Yeah, we have a considerable amount of pins left up there. And when you get 4, it's very, very difficult to lose count this early in the match. He gave it everything he had, though. He got the majority of the wood there. And that puts him behind considerably with 40 in the third frame. With John on the strike, he can really put some pressure here now. He's real smooth, very methodical bowler. He's really focused. He's talking to himself there, trying to get him focused here. Came right up underneath it.
That's the same lead he had.
Same lead the last time. Threw it a little differently than he did previous frame. He stayed under that ball a little longer than he did previously. It wasn't quite as light. So the last one, he needs to make a little adjustment on this lane here. And he covers the spare.
And a 20-pin lead for Gaines. As we move to the 4th frame in our national semifinal to determine the United States Amateur Bowling Champion. Qualifying began about a year ago.
Yeah, 20 pins is still early, very early here in this match. If Michael can get himself going here. Oh, he loves that lane, doesn't he?
He likes the left lane, and we'll be back with more of our national semifinal match from Eden Prairie Lanes in a moment. Mike Jakubowski and Pat Costello back at Eden Prairie Lanes, bottom of the 4th. Michael Neumann down by 20, following an open.
Well, I was hoping that he was going to wait a little longer to hit it, and he waited too long, I believe. He's left the 4-pin. He's going to change balls here. It should be just ordinary procedure here for Michael.
Michael's been high every shot on both lanes. What do you make of that?
Well, he's really forcing his swing. He's grabbing it a little early, and I think he's just really nervous.
I had a chance to talk to Mike about his first appearance on the Team USA.
I've been preparing for this tournament for 365 days. Last year, after I didn't make the team, I felt that I was a little ill-prepared, so I really worked hard for this. And I sacrificed a lot of things to make this team, but hopefully, so far, it's been well worth it.
Okay, well, he's a very frank individual, and he knew he wasn't ready. He went home, he's worked hard, and Head coach Palmer Foggen encouraged him to try this again, and boy, he's really done a fine job. I just want to see him get going here.
That one came back, slaps out the 10 in the 5th frame. First strike for Neumann.
There he goes. See how much longer he stayed with the ball and didn't jump out of it in the finish. It's so important in today's bowling is to stay down with the shot and execute the ball down the lane. And that's what he did there.
Okay, here's Gaines. Strike up in the 4th. Chance to double.
Come on now, John. Oh my, what a bad break, tripping that 2 out, making that 8-10. Oh my. That was a really tough break for John. He's been light on this lane. And he even slowed up his speed on that ball. And he really didn't get a very nice break, leaving with the 8-10. You can see John here where he stands really, almost, he's on the dots there. And as he moves the ball forward, he's very smooth, and his knees start bending, and see the swing and how low he gets to the line. It's just a great shot. He crunches up a little bit there at the line, but he has a nice follow through down the lane.
Okay, each of the players has an open. 6th frame for Gaines.
Come on, John. There you go.
And he likes that left lane. All 3 strikes.
That's funny because he likes the left lane, and Michael didn't like it, and then Mike strikes on the lane that I felt he didn't really care for when he started out. So let's see if Mike can come through a double here and get himself revved up. I think if he can get something going here, he'll have some momentum, and it'll change this whole game around.
Well, it could happen right here. 6th frame, Neumann to strike. He'd take the lead.
Yeah, he's really concentrating. And there we go. Man, that's where he was been throwing it all day. I'll tell you, he's riding that rail out there, right on the channel. Makes the match much closer now. That's a beautiful shaker shot, but he's been there yesterday. He started out there on the 1-2 board, and it was just beautiful.
And in our qualifying format, Mike Bronsart with a 300 game. Those do not come very easily here at Team USA under very trying lane conditions. And in match play, Angelo and Gaines just short of perfection. Brian Graham with a 286. That is the highest qualifying average in the history of Team USA.
That's amazing. That is really some bowling on these conditions.
We will see Kurt Pilon in our championship match. And the high averages in match play, Chris Barnes, member of Team USA again, 218, and Gaines and Pilon. These are the folks that will represent the United States in international bowling competition for the year 1998. And as we had mentioned earlier in the Open, Kurt led wire to wire. We'll see him in the championship match. All right, here's Neumann looking to increase that lead.
He's ready. He's there. You can see now that he's doing a little bit less with the bowling ball now, not trying to do so much. So
we'll be back with the remainder of this semifinal match from Brunswick, Eden Prairie Lanes. It's the U.S. National Amateur Championship. Back at the U.S. National Amateur Championships, Michael Neumann had struggled early, but has put together the 3-bagger and forged a 12-pin lead. And joining us now in the booth is a gentleman who's joined us in a few booths across the country, Palmer Fogren, head coach of Team USA. Thanks for joining us and helping keep score.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Pat.
Tell me about your year as head coach.
It's been a rewarding year. We've had some success, not only individually, but team-wise. And it's really been a learning experience running camps and traveling around with these players all over the world. It's really been a lot of fun.
In the 7th frame, John Gaines has just doubled, cutting the lead to 2. As we move to the 8th frame, he has a chance to take the lead back from Michael Neumann. Tell me some of the highlights.
Well, some of the highlights, we won the Brunswick World Team Challenge, both men's and women's side in Indianapolis. And individually, we won the Africa Cup, men's side and women's side. And over in Finland, we had a real good run at it and got a silver medal there. So a lot of high times this year.
And 3 in a row, and we'll take the lead right back as Gaines strikes in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And also, you have coaching seminars that you're working on.
Well, USA Bowling has the only recognized coaching program by the United States Olympic Committee. We run those programs throughout the year, and if anybody's interested in some good income and good information, being a coach is where it's at.
And there's a look at some of the places where those events will be taking place, and give Bob Mackey a call. All right, we've got an exciting match here. Neumann on a turkey with a chance to wrest the lead right back from John Gaines in his 8th.
Yes, it was great that John got his lane 24, and he's putting it right back to him. There you go. That outside angle is so crucial for carry. The better the angle, the better the carry, and I'll tell you, Mike's playing it. Mike is really playing it.
And Neumann took the lead right back as both players are on a string.
Isn't this great? Watch how far right this ball goes. It's out to at least 2, and that ball rips back and light. It hits more of the 3-pin. These new bowling balls now, when they hit more of the 3-pin, the carry is just tremendous.
And as we saw earlier, you tend to get some funky spares when it doesn't hit the right way.
Exactly right. Yeah, the spares that you leave now are very, very difficult, and you need a ball that you can throw right straight at them.
9th frame, national semifinal. Neumann with a chance to extend his lead.
There he goes. That's there again. Oh, man, what a nice shot that was. Threw it in the exact same place, might have had it just a little bit more speed. Ball got a little farther down the lane. Right there, you can see where the ball just skidded a hair more and left the 10.
With a spare, we'll have the slimmest of margins at a single pin. Gaines will step up in the 9th with a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, he's going to move far left approach here and go across lane at this spare and go straight at it. Nothing fancy. There you go. He was worried. I don't know why. It looked pretty good to me. Athlete knows best, though.
Well, Mike, this is a key shot here in the 9th frame. He's on his tougher lane. He's only hit it 1 time this game.
How do you coach folks to handle this type of pressure in matches like this?
Well, we have a sports psychologist for sure that can help out in these situations, but being there is the most important part, and experience in it.
9th frame, Gaines can take the lead with a strike.
This is absolutely a crucial shot here for John.
Gaines, solid. 4 in a row.
Yeah, on that was his tough lane again, as we said. You watch where he's placing this ball. Now, where I said earlier he was staying behind the ball, kind of flattening it out a little bit, and he was leaving that 2-pin. You watched his release on that shot. He just came right around it and hit it, and got the ball to react real well down the lane, and the result was perfect.
Well, going in, we had a 1-pin advantage. John Gaines has taken it back, but he cannot shut out Michael Neumann.
No, he cannot. Working on the 4-bagger here. Come on. He threw that one. He's doing it differently on both lanes.
Looks like he went a little further inside on that shot.
Further inside, a little flatter with the hand. Didn't come around the ball as much on lane 23. A little bit more loft on lane 23. And there it is. Great pin reaction. Wow, this is a great match like we thought we were going to have.
Gaines can take it off the sheet for 238.
238. We'll shut him right out. All right, I'll tell you, that's quality play. To be a little bit lost there in the beginning, the nerves, and to come back, these two players have really shown the bowling world what amateur bowling is all about.
Michael Neumann rooting his teammate on, as they will tour the world for the U.S., bowling for Team USA.
That is a great experience.
Great finish for Gaines. The last 7, and 9 strikes in the game.
9 strikes.
Best Neumann can do here is 219.
Let's see. Pressure's off. Let's see what he does. Got it out there quick. Well, 3-9-10 split. You don't want an athlete to end on this kind of note, so I really hope he makes this, you know. He's a member of Team USA. It's tough to lose and not be the USA amateur champion, but Team USA is quite an honor in itself. So I think if we can get him to see if he can make this shot and finish big, and hopefully he'll hold his head real high.
This is going to be an intense team, Palm. I heard there were some early fireworks at the orientation meeting.
Oh, there sure is. You know what? This won't affect Michael Neumann's performance. He's a tough competitor, and he'll bounce back from it. That's for sure.
What did you... Gaines congratulating Neumann and good sportsmanship evident here at Team USA as bowlers from all 50 states competed here in the national finals. 24 games of qualifying and 24 games of match play. Top 8 make Team USA.
Yeah,
Watch this angle change, huh?
He's going to move in now to see what happens. Oh, these athletes are incredible, and their camaraderie, that's what gets them here. Their attitude, their positiveness, that's what makes them a winner and a champion.
John Gaines advances to our national championship game to face Kurt Pilon. And we'll be back to talk with Jerry Koenig, the executive director for USA Bowling, when we return. And welcome back to Brunswick Eden Prairie Lanes. Joining me is Jerry Koenig, the executive director of USA Bowling. And Jerry, an exciting international scene awaits our Team USA for 1998.
It sure does. We've got 2 world championships coming up in 1998. The first is our adult championships, and that's going to be in the Netherlands. It's the World 10-Pin Team Cup. It's a team event, and it's on an entire Baker format, and this is our chance to come back and show the rest of the world that we're the best team. And we're going to do that next year, and we're going to probably do it for both the men and the women. But in addition to that, we've got our youth championships, and they're going to be held in Seoul, Korea next year. And that's an opportunity to show that we not only have the best team now, but we've got the best teams coming up in the future. So we're really looking forward to that. And that's just a lead-in, of course, to 1999.
And I guess the United Arab Emirates are preparing a special facility for the FIQ Championships.
It's fantastic. I was there for their opening ceremonies, and it's going to be a stadium concept, not quite rivaling the Reno Stadium here, but it will have the same seating capacity, 2,500 spectators, and you can't believe what this is going to be like. We're expecting more than 80 countries. You will see hospitality that is unrivaled in the rest of the world. It's just going to be the place where we want to be and show that USA is the best team in the world.
And what's the latest word on bowling in the Olympic Games?
Well, it's a complicated process. I think everybody knows that by now, and patience is always the watchword. But it comes really down to this. The IOC people still feel that they have to reduce the total number of athletes to a magic number of 10,000. What that means is, at the present time, there's no room for any other sports. So what we have to do is see if there's enough maneuvering within the sports that are already there to reduce the number. And if that happens, then bowling is well positioned, because we have put ourselves in a place where we've shown the IOC that we can put bowling in an arena setting where there are thousands of spectators, and we can be a real part of the Olympic Games and show that bowling, the largest participant sport in the world as far as we're concerned, really can give something back to the Olympics. We'll be there.
All right. Well, thank you, Jerry Koenig, Executive Director of USA Bowling. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike.
Players from 50 states qualified for the national finals. The top 24 advanced. And here is Team USA. Tony Manna Jr. qualifying at number 4.
Tony really made a run at it. Chris Barnes qualified 5th. This is his 4th consecutive year on Team USA.
Finishing 6th, Carl Fitek.
Hometown boy. Boy, he did great in front of his hometown.
Number 7 player, Brad Angelo.
2nd time in a row for Brad on Team USA.
And rounding out the Team USA squad is Sean Evans. Boy, what a grueling process the bowler's gone through.
I'll tell you, they have just gone through 5 days of competition, and like a nonstop thing. Every day seemed like it was a marathon.
And some of the other finishers in the top 24, Chad Murphy, Ron Moore. Defending national champion, Vernon Peterson. Nick Wissinger from Sterling Heights, Michigan.
We have John Jankowitz from my hometown in Merritt Island, Florida.
And former Team USA members Brian Graham and Jerry Sikora finishing 15 and 16.
Lee Vanderhoff competed in the FIQ Youth Championships in Orlando this June. And we have Jerry's, oh boy, Mr.
Jeremy
900.
Sonnenfeld.
Holy mackerel.
Some of those scores are going to differ because of bonus pins in match play. That's why some of those averages don't correspond with the places. Steve Klemkin and Michael Fagan. Here is your 1998 men's Team USA. Let's go back to 1995 for this Team USA time capsule. In August of 1995, the Reno Hilton Lanes in Nevada served as the site of the National Amateur Bowling Championships, the quest for the best. The national semifinal match featured Chris Barnes against Buffalo, New York's Mike Falero. Fourth frame, Falero doubles to cut into Barnes' lead. In the sixth frame, Barnes doubles back to increase his advantage. Tenth frame, Barnes seals the match with a double for a 200-185 victory in the national semifinal. Barnes advanced to take on tournament leader Drew Hyland of Denver, Colorado. Second frame, Barnes doubles to take an early lead, but a fifth frame opened the door for Hyland. In the seventh, Hyland rips his fourth strike in a row. Drew Hyland used every bit of talent and emotion to take a 219-191 victory over Barnes to claim his spot on Team USA as the 1996 United States National Amateur Champion. Up, Kurt Pilon will face John Gaines in the National Amateur Championship final game. Welcome back to Brunswick Eden Prairie Lanes. This is it. The quest for the best. One more game remaining for the U.S. National Amateur Championship. John Gaines is going to start on the left lane. Now, Kurt Pilon determined that.
Yes, he did. As being the leader, he has that choice to make, and he either likes lane 23 and wants to finish on it, or he wants to put it to John to be the one to have to strike out to win this title. And also, John had a hard time on 24 to start the last match, even though he did finish strong coming on. And then I thought he was going to be all right on 23, and then he goes a little light. I think it's quite nervy. He's taken a few deep breaths. He's got to be just as nervous in this match. Elaine Hagan, president of USA Bowling, longtime friend of mine and an ambassador for our sport.
I'd like to have her frequent flyer miles.
No kidding, huh?
The lady puts in a lot of work for this great sport of bowling. Gaines on the spare.
Well, he covered that spare, and it's not an easy one, absolutely, especially on national television going for U.S. Amateur Championship. And let's see what Kurt's going to do here to start it off. Yeah, he's ready. He's owned this bowling center. I think he's going to take it home with him if he can win this.
He led qualifying and match play. One game to go and opens with a 4-9.
Boy, that ball hooked right out at the pocket. And 4-9, it's a tough break to start a match. Kirk's going to go for it. He's going to see what bowling ball he's going to pick up here to shoot it with. He's going to the harder surface bowling ball. And he's going to try to slide that 4 right over into the 9. This has been picked up many times this week. Saw it yesterday in very crucial situations by different athletes. Time when they needed it the most, and this is one of those times. Looks a little high there on the 4th one. But check out his form here. You see where he gets the ball moving with that first step, and the ball's already going down right there. He's got a nice smooth swing and catches the ball right here. Look how he just is low at that foul line. Gets the ball on the same plane as the lane, and that's what gives these bowlers such an advantage today, the ones that can get down and get the ball down the lane. He needs to get going here. He needs to come up with a good shot.
Pilon's 25 was an alternate on this current year's team.
There you go.
Writes himself with a stride in the second.
Okay, now John has a spare, and he was a little slow starting in that first match. Let's see if he can get it going a little sooner here. Got it out there. He's sending it way too far right. When he was striking, he wasn't hitting it on the up and so flat. He was coming around the ball a little bit more so the ball wouldn't flare out so far to the right on the lane, and he could get it to come back, and he's left himself a 210, which is a spare that he can make. he stands left. He shoots this from the left and ticks it right over there. These guys are showing how these spares are made. You'll notice that he stands to the left, throws it right over the 4th arrow, and hits that 2 pin on the left and just slides it right into the 10.
It's a couple of big spares we've seen made early. And I had a chance to talk with John about his first appearance on Team USA.
Qualified number 7 after going into match play. I had a pretty good shot. Wanted to solidify myself a little bit better, and I was fortunate enough that the first round of match play bowled very well. And after that, that was history.
He was really confident, I think, after he moved up in the qualifying round. And yes, his first round should have made him confident. He averaged 224 and won 6 out of the 8 matches. And that shot wasn't a real good shot for John. I'm surprised after his great shot on 24. He came right out of the shot at the release point. Cross lane, straight at the spare.
Here's Pilon now up in the 3rd, down by 6 pins. But a strike up would give him the opportunity to take the lead with a strike here in the 3rd. And David Patrick joins us, Executive Director of USA Bowling. David puts in a lot of work and emceed the awards banquet last night.
Yes, he did a great job. I love his accent. Kurt can put it to him here, take over the lead. Boy, they're both going wide on this lane here. This lane has him fooled right now. He's left the 2-4-10. Same thing that John just made, actually. One more pin. If he shoots it the way John did, he's going to have the spare here. We'll see how Kurt goes after it. John went from the left side. See what Kurt does here. He's standing in the middle of the approach here, and yeah, and he's going to probably go over the 4th arrow himself. See how straight he goes at this. Fourth arrow, look at this. Oh man, I thought he had that one too. He's got to get going now. He needs to find something and dig down, because this tournament's really his. It's his for the taking. He led by an immensely amount of pins, and it's really tough when you have to come back and win it again. We put up with that on the Pro Bowlers Tour and the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, and it's very tough to have won it the night before and have to come back and do it. But he can do it. He's got the ability and the determination to do so.
3rd frame, down 18 pins, 37 open through the 3rd, 4th frame for Pilon.
Moved in a little bit on that shot. Now we need to see.
We'll be back with more of our championship match from Eden Prairie Lanes right after this. More bowling. The championship match of the 97 U.S. National Amateur Championships. John Gaines steps up in the 4th frame with an 18-pin lead. He defeated Michael Neumann 238-202 in the national semifinal.
I want to see if John tries to, yeah, he went out around it. That's what we're seeing. I can't believe he just kind of stood up and threw it a little flatter, but that time he tried to go around. There's a spot down there in the back end that they have to try to go around. They've been going around it all week. Send it a little bit more right, and they've been able to get this ball back. He just didn't execute that shot to get the true read that he wanted. Another difficult spare. This is not easy. These spares, the 2/8s, on this type of condition where the back end moves.
Oh, that back one always gives me a heart attack.
It does. That's the one you want to shoot for when you're aiming for a spare like that. Get the one in the back, and you'll get the one in front.
We are in the 5th frame. John Gaines with a 16-pin lead over Kurt Pilon to decide the U.S. National Amateur Champion for 1997.
Okay, John has that little lead, but he needs to start putting some pressure on Kurt, because Kurt's got that strike. He's got to be feeling good about himself right now and get some more confidence. Yeah, he's really just coming out of the shot, throwing it a little bit lazier than I've seen him in the past. You get a 6 count. This is a very difficult split to pick up. We have the 3, the 4, the 7, and the 10. If you watch his release here, he looks to me like he's going to stand right up out of it. See, he's just kind of like really lazy. He likes to get that right leg back underneath him, and he would accelerate through the shot a little bit more. And he didn't do it on that one. There you go. Hit that. Boy, I'll tell you. Oh, he was running that all the way through the cameras here.
He jumped up. He wanted to get it.
Yes, he sure did.
We've got an even match.
See how quickly those pins just go right back to the other player. Now Kurt is in the driver's seat. He was sitting there. He's behind by 18 while he's still sitting on the bench, and the guy goes up, gets 6, and just barely misses it. And now he's in the driver's seat here. If he can hit this lane, we might see him go all the way.
Looking for his first strike on the right lane. Even match. Chance to go up by 10 with a strike.
I want to see if he moves in like he did on 23 on the last one.
He did. Oh, and a solid 10.
Boy, he moved in, and he got the ball down a little bit sooner on the lane and projected that ball on a great line to the pocket, and he kept it in a little bit more than I thought he would. But, boy, that was a great shot. He's got to feel good, making 2 excellent shots there. He's got his straight ball out for this 10-pin, and this is the pin that's going to make or break you as a bowler. You have to be able to make those 10 pins.
And we're still looking at an even match. We're going to get a chance to see Kurt Pilon and his team at the Brunswick World Team Challenge Grand Championships as his team advanced in Chicago. That coming up on this regional sports network. Even match. We're halfway home in the U.S. National Amateur Championships. Pilon toes the line here in the 6th.
He struck here the last time. He threw a great shot on 24.
That's a .215 match play average over 24 games under trying lane conditions.
That looks good. Man, that ball stayed out there. Really looked good from here.
Didn't want to come up.
Yeah, there has to be something down the lane there that they're just not getting around it. You see? Well, he got around it. He got around it. He's just maybe needs to move his feet a little bit more right to get the projection that he wants so he can get that ball to break a little bit sooner down the lane.
And then there's that nasty 2-8 again.
They've been shooting a lot of 2s, 2-8s, 2-10s. That tells me something about the back end. The back end is, there's some carry down, there's some oil in the lane where they were playing and could get around it, and they're having a hard time getting the ball back from there.
He chose to play the hook shot on the spare. I guess there's 2 different ways of making that very same spare.
There are 2 ways.
Where Gaines went at it dead nuts straight with the clear
straight
ball.
That's right, his straighter ball. And we try to teach in Team USA that straighter is better, and all you have to do is hit the ball. But it's whatever works and what you're confident with.
6th frame, Gaines up by 2.
It's 2 pins.
And there's that combination again.
I don't know. I think the boys need to move out to the gutter. Pardon me, channel. That's going to cost me $1 when I get home.
You wouldn't want to see my bills on that.
But I think what I'm seeing here on the lane condition is because they've been able to play out so far that might be where they should be right now. And because the inside of the lane is giving them such an over-under reaction. This will be a great shot if he can make it. Now he decided to hook it into that to see if he gets some bounce off the pins and off the backboard with the rotation of the ball to help him make the pins.
When we return to Brunswick Eden Prairie Lanes, we will determine the United States National Amateur Champion. John Gaines with a strike in the 7th while we were away, and Pilon with a spare in the 7th. He's up in the 8th.
Well, he's still going to play inside, and I just can't believe these guys have not moved out. They've had shots out there. The tougher it got in toward the center of the lane, then they all began to move out, and I mean, they had to play way out on the 1 and the 2 board. And maybe they just saw Michael having a problem out there, and so they don't want to try it, but they need to do something now because they're both fighting the whole lane. The lane is not being nice to them. 6-10, cross lane, perfect spare.
5-10 lead for Pilon as we enter John Gaines' half of the 8th frame. Gaines with a strike up can take back the advantage here. Checking the rack over.
He's asking for a re-rack. Yeah. Maybe instead of going out to the channel, he might want to move in more to the lane and throw it a little straighter instead of trying to go around it. stay inside of it a little bit more. There's a couple of things that the players can do with this close of a match, with a strike up. John has to see what he can do right now to take advantage of that break he got in the 7th frame.
Overall average of 216. 8th frame, double to take the lead. Oh, a sweet shot.
He moved right with his feet. He moved his target line in and threw it much harder. If you watch this shot here, he kept the ball more inside, and we're not talking a whole lot, but he got the ball down the lane with more velocity. They've had to have velocity and ball speed all week here, and I can't believe these guys started out throwing the ball so slow. So let's see if he can do it here on this lane. He's really going to take advantage of that one on the 7th frame.
9th frame, double up, a chance to extend the lead to 15 and put some pressure on Pilon.
Did the same thing on that lane.
And
see
packed
that?
it.
Much more authority. Now he's throwing the ball with some confidence, much straighter, harder line, and that's what they've had to do all week. They couldn't float the ball much down the lane with slower ball speed. They had to really get with the program. So let's see what Kurt does here.
9th frame, time to strike for Pilon.
A little more velocity on that shot, too. These guys know when to put it on, don't they?
Pilon can take it off the sheet here for 190.
I don't know that we can say that it took 6 frames to get rid of the nerves, but he needs to get over it real quick here and fire it big time.
Talked to Kurt about his focus earlier.
First of all, I did have a good ball reaction. Second of all, I focused completely. I couldn't even tell you anybody I bowled at any time. I just kind of did my own thing. I wanted to bowl good. If I bowled good, I was going to be happy. Just ended up that when I bowled good, I ended up leading. That's all.
There you go.
Double in the 10th.
You talk about focus, and he's a player that'll focus on his game. He has no idea who's going on around him, what games are being bowled, but he's going to remember this match, and he's that shot there. Do you see how he went around that spot we've been talking about, where John moved in and threw harder, and Kurt's moved out and gone around it and let the ball come in from that great angle. These guys really have a lot on it. 5-pin match here. You can see it in his eyes.
He can take back the lead with a 2nd strike in the 10th.
He moved in deeper, threw it right.
Spare would make it 179.
You can see here now he moved in a little bit deeper and he got the ball further to the right, delayed the break a little longer, and see that 6-pin just laying there in the channel, not helping him at all.
It looked like there were a couple over there that wanted to get over there and help on the 10, but
yeah, he didn't really get a very good break on this 10. He just, he has some adrenaline flowing there, and he threw the ball a little harder than he wanted to.
Now, if John can keep it on the lane here, we're looking at the new 1997 United States National Amateur Champion.
Yeah, we're going to check here. His speed. This is the crucial ball for him. Keeping that speed up and keeping that line straight down the lane.
Pins to win. Where are you putting this one?
It's John.
Oh, and right dead solid.
Wow. That's the competitor. He knew where he wanted it. He's found it. He found it after he got that lucky break. It's an amazing what that does to a player. Just gives you a momentum, and then he's jumping all over the place, isn't he? That's great. He's 6'5". He could hit his head on that scorer up there.
Well, just talking to these players beforehand, just the look in their eyes, the intensity, the competition, fierce.
Oh, yes. They've had it all week. And the emotions are going to flow when this is over because of what they've had to been through. There it goes. Trip and 4 almost. Boy, that was the high hard one he threw in there. keep the ball in play, maybe trip the 4 out.
John Gaines from Davidsonville, Maryland, qualified by winning the Maryland Amateur Championship, and he is your national amateur champion. On top of Team USA, we'll be back to meet him. The United States National Amateur Bowling Championship is brought to you by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. And by the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. John Gaines is your national amateur champion. John, congratulations. You've got some people to thank.
I'd like to, first of all, thank Larry, his staff, the volunteers, everybody this week was great. USA Bowling for putting on the event, putting together the best team in the world. There's nobody's going to beat us this year.
And Elaine Hagan, you've got a presentation for our amateur champion.
John, it's a delight for me to be able to congratulate you and also see if you can put this jacket on to identify you as our national amateur champion. Hearty congratulations.
Thank you very much for being here. Congratulations to John Gaines, Team USA National Amateur Champion. For Pat Costello, this is Mike Jakubowski. So long from Brunswick, Eden Prairie Lanes. This has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast.